Listen, Moot, we don't have much time. We are going to need your best deck for this fight.
Don't worry, Chief. I only play the best decks.
Good, now hold on to your seat.
Oko-sama, Goshin-sama wa anata no doryoku o yorokoba shite itadakimasu. Kono genjitsu no eimin wa mamonaku kawaru daro.
It's over. Eldraine will not fall on this day.
Yeah, what he said!
Mo te o kure. Majiku wa zetsubo teki da.
Chief, any idea what he just said?
No clue. Usually there are subtitles.
Welcome back, Planeswalkers. How you doing? How you doing? Today I have a treat for you guys. We're taking a look at another Wilds of Eldraine commander by the name of Hylda of the Icy Crown, an Azorius and 2 colorless 3/4 human wizard. Her first ability reads as follows. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, you may pay 1 mana. When you do, choose one of the following. Create a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token, put a +1 counter on each creature you control, or scry 2, then draw a card. That's right, dust off your Icy Manipulators because today's strategy is all about tapping down the board and making our opponents miserable. Before we get into this deck, if you have a commander you want covered, leave it in the comments or join the channel Discord. Starting out with our creatures, we have Giant Killer, which is a removal spell attached to a tapper. Topplegeist taps a creature on ETB, and with some luck and delirium, it can tap creatures on each upkeep. Sunstrike Legionnaire is better than you think in this deck, as we do create tokens whenever we tap a creature, so we have our way to untap it if we need it. Next, Court Street Denizen is repeatable tap. Dream Shacklegeist offers us the choice of tapping a creature or making it where it won't untap. Elvish Mariner is a way that taps that has payoff with one of the choices that Hylda gives us, the scry 2 and draw a card. Gadrick the Wizened is a card draw when it ETBs, but then once it's on the field, anytime we're playing those blue spells, it's tapping down creatures. Hammers of Morodin is tap on a Myriad creature. Ice Wrought Sentry is another tapper that gets bigger when we tap. Minister of Impediments is just a honest tapper that doesn't cost us mana when it does the tapping. Nimbus of Frost is more tapping, we just have to cast some spells to do so. Rada Geist Avenger gets bigger every time a creature gets tapped that isn't an attacker. Three of Numbing Depths draws us cards whenever creatures get tapped down. Thassa Deep Dwelling is to bounce some of our ETB tappers, and we do have some really good ones. For example, we have the Gith Monk, which is a creature that taps all creatures we don't control. Illithid Harvester is a rude boy, as we can turn off creatures that are tapped when it ETBs, which with Thassa we can repeat. Timon, Youthful Geist, taps a creature each combat. Willbreaker to do some rude stuff to our opponent's creatures. Frost Titan is more repeatable tap, and Subjugator Angel taps all creatures our opponents controls. And then we have Sunblast Angel, which destroys all of them on ETB. Again, Thassa is a really important piece in this deck. We do play one Planeswalker, that is Tamiyo the Moon Sage, that taps permanents and could potentially draw us a lot of cards depending on our opponent's boards. And yes, the ultimate is game winning, and in theory we should have a decent chance of actually doing it since our strategy is primarily tapping down attackers. Now for our spells, we have Bluster Scrawl, which has the upside of Overload, so we can tap more than one creature. Gridlock, which has the sneaky text of permanent, meaning our opponent's upkeep, we can tap down their lands, if we're scared of course. Icy Blast is the same spell, only it can target creatures. Mind Games is a tap spell with buyback. Source to Plowshare for the ultimate removal spell in Commander. Counterspell to shut down any of the fun at the table. And then Dovin's Veto is to protect our combo from counter magic. That's right, there is combo in this deck, and I will be going over 2 of them at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Feeling of Dread taps 2 creatures and has flashback. Barring 100,000 Arrows is one of our draw spells. Deluge to hopefully tap all the boards down. Stroke of Midnight is permanent removal that replaces Generous Gift. Theft of Dreams is more draw based on tapped creatures. Urza's Rebuff is a counterspell or tap spell. Aether Shockwave is mass tap card. Cone of Cold is a mass tap card with upside depending on your role. Cryptic Command, and it is right at home in this deck as one of the modes is tapping down a board of an opponent at instant speed. Ensnare is mass spell tap that can be cheated out by returning 2 islands to our hands. Turnabout, which you guessed it, is more mass tap. Then we have Bond of Discipline, which is mass tap, but we also gain lifelink to hopefully swing in, gain some life, and basically do it for free. Thoughtweft Gambit is a mass tap spell with a big upside, which is basically untapping all our creatures, so then we can tap down their board when they untap. So perfect. Since beatdown is not really an option for our opponents, we are also using Approach of the Second Sun as a win con in this deck. We finally have the artifact enchantments. First we have the ramp, Soul Ring, and Arcane Signet, which that's it. Now I know you might get scared by hearing that because normally I play a lot of ramp, but trust me, there's a method to this madness and don't worry about the mana. Next we are playing Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar. They are combo pieces as anyone could guess. For tapping things down we have Hylda's Crown of Winter, which also draws cards later in the game, Authority of the Councils to tap creatures down on ETB and gain life. Blind Obedience does the same thing, but instead the life comes from its Extort ability. Also, side note, it does tap down artifacts, which includes treasure tokens, so it's pretty sweet. Then, Scepter of Dominance for targeted tap, Staff of Domination for combo, Curse of Chains to enchant a problem creature, Icy Manipulator for the best tapper in our artifact pool since it can hit lands, Scroll of Isildur taps, steals, and draws cards, Solitary Sanctuary to grow our board after tapping creatures. Citadel Siege is more tapping, Opposition is a nasty card in our deck even without the combo potential that it does have. Time of Ice is tap and bounce, Palatian Accord to buy us some time if our tappers fail to do their duty. Mind Over Matter is here for combos since it lets us discard a card to tap creatures, artifacts, or lands. Dismiss into Dreams is our ultimate Timmy card in this deck, but if you can't resolve it, boy is it rude when we are, instead of tapping, destroying creatures. For the Metabase, I always encourage you to do what's best for your budget. I do have a mana list you can copy in the deck list found in the description of this video. Lands to look out for are Arcane Lighthouse and Detection Tower to remove any annoying text like Shroud or Hexproof from your opponent's creatures. That way you're able to tap them down. Now for combos, I'll be showing off 2 of them found in the deck, but there are more and I encourage you to find them. So starting off with the first combo, it's going to need Hylda of the Icy Crown, our commander, Opposition, Ashnod's Altar, and a creature we can tap. We will need all these permanents on the battlefield, and our opponents need an untapped creature that we can target. First, we will activate Opposition by tapping an untapped creature we control, tapping a creature our opponent controls. Hylda of the Icy Crown will trigger. Holding priority, we activate Ashnod's Altar by sacrificing the creature we are tapping, adding 2 colorless. Dissolve the Hylda of the Icy Crown trigger, causing you to pay 1 to create a 4/4 elemental creature token. With this loop, we can tap down our opponent's board, including their lands each turn, effectively turning the game into solitaire for us. For the next combo, we will need Opposition, Verity Circle, and Mind Over Matter. Then all these permanents are on the battlefield and 1 untapped creature. We activate Opposition by tapping an untapped creature we control, tapping a creature our opponent controls. Verity Circle triggers, causing you to draw a card. You activate Mind Over Matter by discarding a card, untapping a creature you control. So this creates another loop that basically leads to solitaire in the end. Most of the combos you will find in this deck do pretty much the exact same thing. It just leads to us always tapping everyone down and we play solitaire. That's going to do it for today's deck, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see bigger and better content like this in the future, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!